Hi, it's Double1975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Xbox One, but you're actually watching PC footage. This was provided to me by someone who commented on my Escape Evasion guide last episode and said he does things in a different way. That bleeping is me on Discord because I'm actually reading what he sent on Discord. Now, he does the low waking persistently technique. To do this, there's two ships I would say are worth doing this in. It's just a Python, because that can low wake on any medium ship and would only need to high wake away from larges, and potentially pirate cutters would be the only thing that probably would drive him into a high wake. But yeah, given he can boost at 500 meters per second in his current build, probably he can outrun most large ships. The other ship I would recommend is the cutter, and there is an argument, I would say, that the Orca is also very good at doing this method, but with the Orca you flatline speed out of range and then low wake up. As I've said previously, the danger I foresee in this method is that the amount of times that you have to fight interdictions, there's a bigger chance you're going to fail at one and end up trapped for 40 seconds. Which is why I would only ever recommend you do this method in tough ships. The cutter can survive against most things for 40 seconds. There's not a lot that can bother a cutter. If you build it right and you use the proper defensive tools, this method could work. I also, and I did say in our Discord chat, that I do feel that I would, as a pirate, like to see what my pirate cutter could do against this method, because there's certain points that even the fact that he's got 2-point defenses and an ECM, I still fancy my chances of getting one hatch breaker to work if I had 40 seconds, just because of the way the mechanics work with them. But on the whole, this is not a method I was advocating using. This is someone else pointing out that it works for them. Now, the reason I didn't go down this route and recommend this sort of approach was because I think if you're a newer player, go with the simple high wake philosophy. If you get in your head the high waking, you don't get mass locked. High waking is always the best way to escape. Like if you're in a combat situation you want to get out, high waking will get you out safer. However, if you're determined and you're the sort of person that doesn't panic under pressure, this is a viable method. I would say this one relies on, you need a bit more experience to pull it off. There's a few extra tricks that he uses I was going to cover later in more in-depth episodes. The use of planets is a very good one. So basically when you're in Super Cruise, you can go faster and use the slow down effect of the gravity of the planet to help you get to your destination quicker and have to slow down less. Now, the general philosophy with this method is that you get a slight advantage every time you get interdicted in the chain interdiction, and it will always put you out slightly ahead. And as long as you stay calm, submit, and then low wake immediately, and you make sure that the thing behind you can low wake from, you can just keep going and going, and eventually the mouse will eke out a little bit of an advantage and get a little bit further each time. But as you can see, these chain interdictions are one after the other. So this is the point in which you can't afford to panic. You must immediately, submit. You don't want to take the risk of getting the full 40 seconds, because at this point, there's a lot of the time you don't know whether you're being interdicted by one guy or four. And even though this is a tough Python build with really good defenses, it's still would probably struggle against 4 FDLs if stuck for 40 seconds. So you are taking more risk with this method as far as I'm concerned. But this guy's got a sensible build, it's fast enough, and he's also got point defenses and ECMs. Now ECMs are one of the defensive tools that is much disregarded and not used. But it is a very effective tool against piracy and missile spam. But I don't tend to use it that often. It's very good, but because I fly Lakons and they're limited on their shields and also limited on their utility mounts, I tend to stick. It's For me, I go point defense before I go ECM. But it is a very useful tool. The reason I go point defense is because it works automatically, where in ECM you have to trigger. And I've always found that I'm better with the point defense, and if I got an ECM I have to think about using it, and when I'm under attack thinking about using things is kind of just too much for me. I much prefer stuff that works passively rather than stuff I have to manually activate to come to defend me. But this method works for him, and while it is completely opposite to the tenets I was saying in the last episode of Escape and Evade, I thought because he sent me such a good example of him ploughing forward regardless on PC at a community goal, and because he is right, this method will and can work, I thought it was a good look at the opposite point of view to mine. There's stuff that he does that I really like, and stuff that I was going to include in later episodes. Like I say, like getting close to planets. If you're close to a planet, if the person tries to interdict you, they'll get just dumped out immediately. So as you approach the base, use the planet's gravity to slow your ascent, so you can stay going faster for longer using the planet's gravity. Hiding and hugging next to the planet is a great method for stopping yourself getting interdicted. But these are things that you really this whole method and everything that he's doing, I think, is slightly more advanced than the stage we were at in my Escape Evasion guide. There's a lot of stuff that he does that I would be covering in later episodes, but it is good. This is a good example of something that I don't recommend but does work. Like I say, you have to be careful with your ship choices because mass lock factor is a big issue. The Python is the best medium ship for this because it can low wake on any medium ship. It's the daddy when it comes to medium ships for mass lock factor, and the Cutter is the best big ship for this method. Well, technically the Orcas are large as well, but the Orca's good at this because of its basically massively stupid speed. But the Orca has still to be careful of pirate couriers. It's kind of a weird thing, but the Cutter is the best ship to do this in because nothing bothers a Cutter. If you have all shield boosters apart from a point defense, a heatsink and an ECM, you'll still have ludicrous shields. You can still have well over 7,000 shields with good resistances, or like 9,000 shields. Even with like a size 6 shield, you can get pretty decent shields. You can make the Cutter into a flying fortress that you can ignore anything. I love this, that he's completely disobeying my rule about don't shit talk until you get on the landing pad. It's nice to see. That's something I tend to forget to do on a regular basis. Land first, shit talk second. And also the use of auto dock is the one thing that I'm really against in this video. That's two tons of cargo. I can't bear using auto dock. Though with my bad landing skills, maybe there's an argument to be made there. However, I do feel I can get in and out quicker without using auto dock. He says he uses it for speed, and there is, a case to be made for it, I suppose, but I find it's not worth the hassle because you get attacked by a lot more people just for having an auto dock. But anyway, that's the example. That's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching.